Hey everyone, hope you're well. I've got the old purple curtain behind me again today. I thought it'd be better to record from the other side of the room as the boys were being very noisy going to bed and they kept knocking and poking their head in to talk to me and ask me questions and generally, do their things to make sure they're as distracting as possible. So yeah, I'm over the other side of the room. It is slightly better actually because it means I can turn my light to blind me but also light up the video. So I am going to have a tinker in here, I think. I was chatting to Claire the other day about the fact that, and I'll get to this further in the video, but I'm going to be getting my new computer soon. And Kev said that he can provide me with two monitors, ones that he has currently sat in his toilet, I think he said. But he was telling me he can sort of basically attach them to my desk. And I thought, well, if I attach them to my desk, I'd have to sit on my bed to use the desk, so I need to rearrange the room. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned before, I'm hoping I don't ruin everything if I turn my camera. Actually, it's a bit of a mess, so I won't do that. But we basically have a, I don't know if it's like called a super queen size bed. I can lay across it and I'm not tall enough to touch each end without putting my hands out. If I put my hands up in the air, obviously I would be long enough, but yeah, it's sort of just over, it's over 6 foot wide and 6 foot long, and it's just a stupidly big bed, so it takes up a lot of room in the room. And we've tried to squeeze in like some IKEA furniture, a TV, a desk, all of this as well. So I've been frantically crunching numbers in my head and trying to figure out how I'm going to rearrange it. I think I've got a plan. I think I'm going to have my desk behind the door, move stuff over to where the desk currently is, and then get a new TV stand and stuff like that. But it does mean it's all complicated because until I've sorted out a garage sorted our garage into a room for me to record and work in, I'm gonna have to use the bedroom. I've spoken to Claire about how that means she's not going to see me as much because I'll be up here all the time doing recordings. So she was like, that's fine, I get to watch TV, that'd be brilliant. I think the fact we've spent lockdown together for over a year now means that, yeah, it's probably a good idea for us to spend time apart doing different things, because at the moment we just, unless I'm playing a game upstairs, which doesn't happen that often, we're just finding stuff to watch every day. So yeah, she's quite excited to think she's going to get to catch up on all her games, but it does mean I've got to start carting stuff around this room and trying to figure out where the heck everything goes. I am quite nervous that I won't have a proper, at the moment, if I take that idea, the backdrop would be our toilet door, so I need to cover our toilet door with a green screen or something, whereas at least if I had this, I could probably use this colour as it'd be a purple screen, I'm gonna have to figure this sort of thing out. I'm sure it'll be okay in the first sort of however many videos, if I have hoodies hanging on the door at the moment. If there's just clothes hanging in the background, it's not the end of the world, is it? It's interesting. What I've been doing this week since my last vlog is watching what other people do. I'd originally said I would probably do a video series of me doing a Nuzlocke on YouTube, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, it's kind of more fun to do something like that on Twitch, I think. I'm still not 100% decided, but when I googled it, when I looked them up, there was videos of people's entire Nuzlockes, or there's Nuzlocke stories on YouTube. But there were a lot of people, thousands of people, watching videos on Twitch where people were playing through games. And I just thought maybe a Nuzlocke story. And for anyone who doesn't, I'm sure I've spoken about this before, but what I was thinking of doing was a Pokemon game, Pokemon Sword or Shield, depending on which version I pick up, because I've got both. I would basically start them, and the idea is you can only catch one Pokemon per route, so there's 30 different roads, and if they die, they're dead. So you have to try and complete the game with the 30 odd Pokemon you catch. So the first, if you go on route 1, the first Pokemon you catch is your route 1 Pokemon. Route 2, you get a Pokemon, and that's it basically. You go through each route and you don't get a choice about which one you're going to get, so you can't like hold fire and try and get a good one. You have to kind of, you can, but obviously you have to be lucky. You have to not come across something else by mistake. So if you can try and get to a patch where there's something good, you can kind of try and sneak there. So it's going to be hard to do, but I kind of thought if I'm sat there talking to myself, naming characters and whatever, and it's all one way, it's going to be really hard to make that a good, entertaining story, because there are going to be bits where you're going to have to do a little bit of grinding and leveling up and trying to make sure stuff's not going to get killed at the next battle. And on a Twitch, you can do the good stuff, and then between videos, you could be just grinding a little bit, or you could do it on there while you're just chatting to people. You could have like a you know, a Tuesday night or whatever, where you're just grinding away while you chat to people and you have a little game and you make it entertaining. So I was having a look at what other people do, and I feel like that's where most people play that. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is I created Sheepdog Plays. In the comments of the last video, someone said to me, why don't you try Sheepdog Games? And I typed in Sheepdog Plays, nothing came up. I typed in Sheepdog Games, and it came up with Sheepdog Gaming, and that was the other person I was talking about before. So I immediately registered Sheepdog Plays, because I thought says plays, I could just keep that, you know, any different random thing. I can make a channel on Sheepdog Cooks, and I could become a famous primetime cook, but I won't do that. I can't cook. But yeah, you know what I mean? The branding's there, it's all good. So I just thought, right, I've got Sheepdog Plays. It doesn't mean I have to play Pokemon stuff on it. I can play all sorts of games on it. So I'm thinking I might start looking to get into a kind of just an arrangement with myself, really. I'll just kind of have a game I play on YouTube and a game I play on Twitch, and I'll just tell people what to watch and where to watch, and if people want to see them, they can. I was thinking about this after I thought about it. I thought that's probably what is best. I thought, well, that's basically what Kev does. He has a save on, he does his like home save and his non-League to Legends save and his whatever save on YouTube, and then he does his other games entirely on Twitch, and the teams don't overlap often. You know, sometimes he'll do a live thing if there's like a transfer special, but I know you can do live on YouTube as well, so I could have like I could be doing the videos where stuff happens to a point, like deaths and whatnot, but then I could do the occasional live video where it's like a gym battle or something like that. So it's exciting. I think there's lots to do. I'm pleased to see that the specific times I've looked so far, the crowd for Pokemon has been like 4 times higher than most other games I would have thought about. I am interested by the fact that some people I watched had a lot of views, but they were really rude and really dry. And I kind of just thought, I'm not saying I'm like Krusty the Clown, I'm Mr. Wacky, whatever. I'm just thinking there's not much energy in there. So hopefully, yeah, I can hopefully do all right. I'm not trying to talk anyone down or anything. I'm not gonna. I don't know names, but I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to insult anybody. Might have been an off night. It was like this was specifically last night, Monday, but yeah, I'm just starting to do a bit of research, really get my grounding on it all, and it's exciting. I've got a while, I think, looking at deliveries. The main thing I wanted to talk about with regards to the whole PC situation is I think I found one I like, and I'm not going to sit here and read out all of these specs, but I am going to put the specs in the description below on the video. And if you're into PCs and you know about PCs, then I want your thoughts. And B, sorry, I also want to know whether you know what you think is overkill, underkill, not good enough, whether you could get a better price somewhere else. I don't know, just anything that might be useful information. I essentially spoke to Claire about a budget, and I think what I'm trying to do is I basically agreed with her that well, I agreed with myself I would try and keep it under £2,000. And then when I spoke to Claire, she was like, okay, how much is that a month? And I said, well, if I pay a deposit of X, like, I think I said, if I pay a deposit of like 500, then I can get it to about 50 a month. And she sort of said, I'd rather just be 50 a month. And I was like, okay. So I said, if I spend about 1,600 with a £200 deposit, is that a good compromise? And we sort of half agreed that. So where I am at the moment, I looked on PC Specialist at their overclocked AMD Ryzen 7s, so an 8-core 3800X processor. It's 3.9 gigahertz, overclocked up to 4.4, it says. They had a gaming motherboard with Wi-Fi in it, and I didn't really understand whether this meant it had decent Wi-Fi in it or what. So I tried to add a good Wi-Fi thing in, and then it gave me an alert saying the one on it is better than what I added. So I'm going to stick with that, because I feel like that seems like a sensible idea. I'd like to hardwire it. I'd probably use home plugs, but I don't know if that's going to be feasible. So I'm going to have to put probably a Wi-Fi thing on it. 32 gig RAM, because it just isn't that much different from 16. So I just thought, why not? And then it says, so I was looking at the different GeForce 30 series graphics cards. Now I'm toying between the 3070 and a 3060, because the 3060, on this quote it says 3070 actually, but on the 3060 was like 100 quid less, but it was I looked at some stats and it was like 10% less powerful, and I thought, well, that's not that much really when they're already, I think it showed me the rankings of all the different firewalls worldwide, so I work with firewalls, graphics card worldwide, and it said that like the 3090 was the number 1 and this was the number 5, and then the 3060 was like the number 9 or something like that, and it wasn't much difference. And let's face it, I'm not going for like super duper duper, but I thought that was pretty decent for a start, but there will be a wait for that. I went for a normal 1 terabyte hard drive, and then also a one of those ones you stick into the motherboard. They call it an M2 SSD drive. I just thought, someone told me, I think it was Angry John, told me that's where you want to install your operating system because it's faster. I then went to the recommended power supply. I think I went for their £5 thermal paste instead of it being free, because I just thought, do you know what? Use the good paste. Is that relevant? Let me know. I wanted to add in an Elgato because I need that obviously to do the capture and the streaming. I thought I might as well go for the 4K one because again there was like 50 quid between the choices, and I just thought I'd rather go for the 4K, and when my internet's good enough I can put it out there. And then I was toying with whether or not to bother with putting an operating system on it, because they charge like 120 quid for Windows, and I know I can get it for much less on the internet. So I'm kind of just looking at it thinking, do I really want to spend that much on something that I know I can get cheaper elsewhere? So long story short, I think I really want to know whether the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM and the graphics card are too much. I don't know, or whether I'm misunderstanding something, whether there's new graphics cards coming out soon or what really. So complicated nonsense for a lot of people. I know I haven't looked at PCs in so long. The last PC I bought from them was 2007, when I tried to convince Claire that if I didn't get a PC then I'd never get one, because we were going to have children soon and I really needed to be able to get something sorted before we had all those sort of commitments. And so she let me, and then I think we were pregnant with Emily like 4 months later, so it's very good timing. I hope we don't end up with a 4th kid if I get a PC. I don't want it to be a pattern where we have another girl in 9 months' time. As awesome as Emily is, I don't really want another one. We haven't got enough room. That would make it even harder to find somewhere to put my desk. So yeah, enough of that PC boring nonsense, and hopefully I've not bored you all to tears with my plan for my channel, but I'm just throwing out ideas, building hopefully interest, hopefully not sending you all mad with boredom, but that is what's going on with me at the moment really. At home it's been quiet really today. I'm starting to get worried that Emily spends so much time in her room as a teenager now. So I said to her at about lunchtime, I was like, after school come downstairs and you've got to stay down there till bedtime basically, just spend time with us. So she did. I was, when she came down, I was watching Castles in the Sky on Netflix, Studio Ghibli film, and at the end of that, weirdly it said, now you've watched this, why not watch The Truman Show? And I thought, well, they're not related at all, but I put it on, and I didn't think Emily would be into it, but she watched it all with me. She thought it was all right. I've only seen bits of that film, so it's quite interesting to watch it start to finish. It's funny watching it because you think so many people think they live in a have that now and again where they think they live in a TV show, or they think something odd about their lives, and it is one of those things where when you watch it in the film you're like, God, this does make me feel a bit like what if. But I said to Claire, I think my show would have been cancelled by now, especially with lockdown, but I know everyone's in lockdown, but even before that, I think people would have just got bored of how much time I spend sat at a desk at work, sat at a desk at home, sat at the sofa at home. Yeah, I'd have been cancelled by now. They'd have been doing all sorts of nonsense. I was saying this to Claire, and then I thought, unless they've just thrown us into a pandemic special, that could be it. But no, I'm pretty sure I don't live in a TV show, although I am making my own one, obviously, on the vlog. Ben's been really ratty today, bless him. He's started to get this thing where you tell him not to do something, and he gets really like eviling me. I mean, I realised then my eyes were quite closed from the light, but he just starts narrowing his eyes at me like, which I think he's getting from Ollie, bless him. But I sent him to the naughty step a few times when he did it, and I think he's starting to get the point that that's not acceptable. It's so bizarre thinking it's February, he's going to be going to school in 6 months, and I can't imagine it. I can't imagine him being at a school with a teacher, being taught things, because he just seems so little. He is literally going to be the youngest person in his year group. He turns 4 the week before he starts school, so if we had the option, I think we'd probably keep him off till January or something, but I don't think they do that anymore. It seems like I mean, I don't think he'd survive it. I think it'd drive him nuts. But yeah, he wants to go. He wants to hang out with all his mates who are a bit older than him. Well, he's missing all of his nursery mates now, bless him. School's been a bit weird for us as well lately. Trying to get Ollie back in this week. He's not been in the mood for it. He's a bit under the weather. Bless him, he's on antibiotics. He's on all sorts of stuff now. He's had 2 different bug diagnoses in the past week, and he's got a sore tooth. And it's like, bless you, you're just falling apart. All these little cascading problems. But I think once he's had all his medicines and everything, he'll be fine, and he'll feel a lot better. But he's just been hit with it all in the space of a week, and I think it's just making him feel a bit less up for stuff. But I sort of just said to school, we're easing him. He'll be back to normal working next week. He'll just this week take it easy. And that is my lot, really. I'm just excited about the computer. I'm excited about the idea of gaming. It's interesting looking at the 2 different platforms. Like if you look at Twitch, the best people on there are getting sort of 3,000 people watching their Pokemon stream. I looked at Among Us. There are people with sort of 10,000 people there. It was surprising what the top games were. Grand Theft Auto was the most watched game on there, I think, when I was looking at the time. Football Manager was nowhere really, and Animal Crossing was nowhere really. You know, there's a lot of niches on there, which is a good thing. That's what you want in your niches. I think Pokemon was in like the 3rd row on there. I think the most watched thing was just casual chat, just people chatting on Twitch. And I thought, okay, again, that's something that you can just do once you've got a following, I suppose. You just log on for a chat. But yeah, it was interesting learning a bit about it. I'm trying to do my homework, trying to get it right, trying to see what people do. Obviously, when I look at Kev's videos, he's got so many different random things going on in his Twitches that are coming up around the screen in that. And I know that stuff you build up to, you don't do that on day one, but there were a lot of people on there who just did nothing but the game, and I was quite surprised that was still a thing, that they'd just have their face in the corner, but everything else was just the game. Yeah, it's a lot to think about, a lot to do, and as I say, my plan is to probably, depending on how excited I get, I'm either going to order tomorrow night or I'm going to order Thursday. But I want to float the list out and just see what people think, because if someone says to me, you could buy that spec for less than that here, or don't get that, get this, it's much better and it's only 20 quid more, then do you know what I mean? It's going to be worth it. I assume AMD's better for processors. That's an interesting question to throw out there. It looked better when I got my dad sorted for him. So if everyone tells me to go Intel now, I'll be like, oh God. But I'm pretty sure someone told me AMD was better before. I asked my mate about PCs, and he was telling me about some $4,000 one he's been trying to build. And he went back to the drawing board when he realised it would arrive on a pallet and he'd have to dispose of the pallet. So he thought, I can't be bothered with that. He's a bit more well off than I am. But it wasn't Kev either, if Anna's watching and ready to shake a fist at him. But yeah, no, it's fun, it's exciting. I feel a little bit of a buzz of just, I get to plan something, I get to rearrange something, I get to change something. I was meant to do writing today, and then Claire was out and the boys were just not in the mood for me to be leaving them to it. So I ended up watching films, although that kind of ended up derailing Ben a bit, bless him. But I am planning on doing proper writing this week and trying to get some stuff finished. Yeah, it's been interesting. I feel a bit like the day's gone really quick, actually. It was nice waking up this morning, not feeling the anxiety of counting down till time to get up and all of that. I feel like normally when I'm woke up by Ben at like 6:30, 7, I lay there counting down the minutes until I've got to get out of bed, and it's a bit stressful. Whereas today it was like he came in and I felt like I'd been in bed for hours when I finally actually got up, and it was still 8:30 when I got up. I got up earlier than that for work, but it was 8:30 when I got up, and I just thought, yeah, okay, that was easy, that was fine, that was nice. So I think by Monday I'm going to be feeling really hard. It's going to be just really hard to get up, basically. It's going to be really difficult to get out of bed and get up for work and do all of that. So I need the turnaround for PC Specialist to be like a day. I need next day delivery on a super duper computer, and I need to be world famous on Twitch by Monday, so I can just go, do you know what, work, I'm going to retire. It's not realistic, is it, really? It's a shame. But no, I've said before, talking to Kev, or at least watching his videos and that kind of thing as well, I know it's going to be bloody hard work, and I'm quite excited about having something I can just pour myself into and see what happens, because, yeah, it should be fun. It should be cool. And I'll never have that annoying... The thing that bothers me is sitting down and thinking, I don't know what to talk about tonight, and then thinking, I could talk about this, but then I'm like, do you know what I mean? It's really hard to come up with a topic and think no one's going to care about that. And I know I've just sat here and talked about a PC spec for 20 minutes, and sorry if you don't find it interesting, you know, I'm hoping some of you will, but I did think, you know, some people will be up for that. They'll respond, I'll get feedback. Some people just like to watch, have stuff on in the background, but it'd be nice to know, right, tonight I am just playing an hour of this or 2 hours of this. I'm going to get from route 1 to route 4, and, you know, I'm going to be leveling up and I'm going to be hunting for something or whatever, you know. I need to set some rules as well for the game, because I don't want it to just be a generic, right, I'm going to go and do this. I want to make it a bit spicy or a bit fun. I'm just trying to think of something, really. But who knows, we'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up there. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the spec. Let me know your thoughts on the channel ideas. I did accidentally start a Sheepdog channel as well, because it told me to set up the brand, and I thought, well, if I call it brand Sheepdog and then the channel says, plays, etc., that works. I typed in Sheepdog and it just created me a channel called Sheepdog, and I was like, no, go back. So I went back, put Sheepdog plays, and then I look at my channel list, I've got 3 channels now, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake, Sheepdog, you idiot. So I don't know what I'll do with the other one, if I ever do anything with it, but it's there in the back pocket. I guess that doesn't mean I suddenly own, I don't know, maybe you have to have a certain point before you own the link to it anyway. I seem to recall that being a thing, so I don't know for sure. There might already be these things. I looked. The person I was thinking of isn't called that. It should be fine. But yeah. Anyway, I can't even speak now. I need to stop talking. Thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you all on, where are we? We're Tuesday, so I'll catch up with you all on Thursday. By Thursday, by that video, I should be saying I've ordered it. It's all sorted. So unless someone throws a spanner in the works and sets me back, I'll be all sorted. I get paid tomorrow, so I'm very excited about that. Get to sort lots of things out. It's gonna be a fun day, and yeah, I'm just really excited, and yeah, it's been a good week. Hope you're all well, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.